The morning sun rose gently over Umuokoro. Its golden rays spread across the thatched roofs, the winding footpaths, and the dew-covered cassava farms. To everyone else, it was another beautiful day. To King Odogwu Nnanna, it was the second day of living as a man nobody respected. He sat beneath the same mango tree where the mysterious traveler had left him the previous evening. His royal wrapper had become dusty. His feet were blistered. His stomach had begun another protest. Jaa! The king sighed. Hunger, please, let us make peace. His stomach replied with an even louder growl. Nearby, two women carrying firewood burst into laughter. One whispered, "Look at him. The madman who claimed he was king. Yes. He is now arguing with his stomach." The king lowered his head. Yesterday those same women would have fallen on their knees before him. Today, they laughed without fear. He remembered the traveler's words. Respect borrowed from wealth disappears with wealth. For the first time, those words pierced his heart. The king stood. If I cannot command, then I must work. The sentence sounded strange. For over 20 years, his hands had never held anything heavier than a royal staff. Now he needed work. Real work. He walked to the village square where men gathered every morning waiting for farmers to hire laborers. Strong young men filled the square. Some carried hoes. Others carried cutlasses. Some laughed loudly while showing muscles bigger than yam tubers. One farmer arrived. "I need 5 strong men." Immediately 20 men rushed forward. The king joined them. The farmer looked everyone over. He pointed. You. 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 Then he reached the king. He squeezed the king's arm. It felt soft. "When last did you work on a farm?" The king hesitated. "When I was a child." The farmer laughed. "My friend, weeds will harvest you before you harvest them." The entire square laughed. The farmer walked away. Another employer arrived. "I need someone to carry palm oil." The king quickly volunteered. "I can do it." The trader smiled. "Good." He placed one huge pot of palm oil on the king's head. The king staggered. The pot leaned left. He leaned right. The pot leaned right. He leaned left. The crowd began shouting. "Balance. Straighten your neck. Don't disgrace your ancestors." The king took 3 steps. Then, crash! The pot fell. Palm oil spread everywhere. Children immediately began skating on the slippery ground. One little boy slipped so dramatically that he landed inside a basket of coconuts. Even the coconuts seemed shocked. The trader grabbed his head. "My palm oil." The king apologized repeatedly. "I am sorry." "Sorry?" The trader shouted. "Can sorry fry plantain?" The villagers laughed until tears rolled down their cheeks. Embarrassed, the king wandered toward the grazing fields. There he saw an elderly shepherd quietly watching dozens of goats. The old man smiled. "You look defeated." "I am." "Good." The king looked offended. "Good." The shepherd nodded. A calabash already full cannot receive fresh palm wine. The king remembered another proverb. Perhaps the village elders had been wiser than he realized. The shepherd pointed toward a stubborn goat. "Catch that goat." The king smiled. "That is easy." He ran. The goat ran faster. The king chased it across bushes. The goat jumped over logs. The king attempted the same jump. He landed inside a muddy puddle. The goat stopped. Turned. Looked at him. Then, it bleated. Mia. The shepherd burst into laughter. My son. Yes. You chased the goat with anger. So. Animals fear patience more than speed. The old man slowly walked toward the goat. He spoke softly. Within moments, the same stubborn goat quietly followed him. The king stared in amazement. Meanwhile, inside the council hall that had mysteriously appeared where the palace once stood, the former ministers sat in expensive robes. The king's disappearance had created opportunities. Chief Minister Okoro cleared his throat. My fellow elders. Everyone became quiet. Our kingdom cannot remain leaderless. Another minister nodded. People need someone to command. A third smiled slyly. And someone to collect taxes. The room erupted with knowing laughter. Chief Okoro continued. Since His Majesty disappeared, no one corrected him. We must appoint a temporary ruler. One elder raised an eyebrow. Temporary. The chief minister smiled. Very temporary. Everyone understood. Temporary in politics often meant forever. Hidden behind the council building. Someone listened carefully. Tortoise. He rubbed his shell. Excellent. He whispered. When greedy people begin to cooperate. He smiled. Business is about to improve. That evening Tortoise gathered his family. My dear wife. She sighed. What now? We have discovered something valuable. What? The former king. What about him? He is poor. I can see that. He is desperate. I can also see that. Tortoise smiled. Desperate people believe almost anything. His wife folded her arms. I don't like that smile. You married it. What are you planning? He laughed. My dear. When a fisherman falls into the river. She completed the sentence. Crocodiles begin smiling. As evening approached, the king sat beside the river. His stomach was empty again. His heart felt heavier than ever. Then, he heard footsteps. A small boy. Perhaps 12 years old. Barefoot. Carrying a bundle of firewood almost bigger than himself. His clothes were patched many times. Yet, he walked proudly. The boy stopped. You look hungry. The king forced a smile. I am. The boy untied a small cloth. Inside. Only 2 roasted yams. He handed one to the king. The king hesitated. This may be your only food. The boy shrugged. My grandmother always said. He smiled. Food shared becomes sweeter. The king slowly accepted it. What is your name? Obina. And your parents? The smile disappeared. They died during the Great Fever. I am sorry. I live with my grandmother. What does she do? She weaves baskets. And you? I fetch firewood. The king looked at the thin boy. You work every day. Obina laughed. If I don't. He raised the yam. This will not appear. The king suddenly felt ashamed. He had ruled for years. Yet he had never asked how often children survived in his kingdom. They ate quietly. Finally Obina asked. Can I ask you something? Yes. People say you claim you were our king. The king looked away. It is true. The boy studied his face carefully. I believe you. The king froze. You believe me? Yes. Why? The boy shrugged. A liar usually speaks too much. You don't. And he smiled. When you thanked me for the yam. He looked directly into the king's eyes. You thanked me like someone who had never needed help before. The king felt tears forming. This little orphan, the poorest child in Umuokoro, had seen the truth that all the wealthy men had ignored. For the first time since losing everything, someone believed him. Not because of a crown, not because of riches, but because of honesty. Just then, a familiar voice interrupted them. My dear king. The king turned. Tortoise, smiling broadly, walking slowly with his polished walking stick. I have been looking everywhere for you. The king frowned. You know me. Of course. I know everyone. Tortoise bowed dramatically. I have heard of your unfortunate situation. The king remained silent. But Tortoise continued. I may have a way to help. Obina's face immediately became serious. He quietly whispered. Don't trust him. The king looked surprised. You know him. Every child in Umuokoro knows Tortoise. Why? Obina answered with a grin. My grandmother says if Tortoise offers you free soup. He leaned closer. First check whether you're the meat. Tortoise pretended not to hear. His smile never faded. My dear king. He spread his arms. I have a business proposal. The king looked at Obina. The boy slowly shook his head. Almost invisibly. But the king was hungry. Tired. Broken. And desperate. Exactly the kind of man Tortoise loved doing business with. Far away, hidden inside the council hall, Chief Minister Okoro looked toward the darkening sky and whispered. Tomorrow, the last people still loyal to the king will disappear. Neither the king, nor Obina, nor even Tortoise realized that a far greater conspiracy had already begun. And somewhere beyond the hills, the mysterious traveler watched the setting sun and quietly said, the third lesson begins when betrayal wears the face of friendship.